we are. I went live in the wrong freaking page, or Facebook put me in there. I think Facebook did it. That was really weird. I'm glad it was only this. Oh, right, I gotta share. Oh, look at it, apps on my phone now. Yay, so awesome. Very cool. I know I look all weird with my mouth open. Okay, so it only doesn't share on my business page. Hey! I think I'm in the right place now. You guys gotta hear this beginning part. Hold on. Ah, push it. Push it. Do you guys remember that song? Hey, Jamie. Okay. Let me see if it's actually showing up on my computer now. Facebook is going all sorts of crazy, but I have something really freaking awesome to tell you guys. Woo! Hold please. Enjoy the music. We're on a short break while I share my video. Just so you know, on your phone you can actually share to groups now. You just can't share to like your business page, so you still gotta do that on the computer. Done! I'm getting faster and faster and faster at that. Okay, as much as I know you're enjoying this music, but hold on for the beginning, really? What song is this? Push it. Push it. Push it. Push it real good. Of course you would know, Amanda. I knew you'd freaking know. Okay, so as much as you're enjoying this music, I'm now gonna deliver my epic news. So, we are officially open right now for, okay, wait, I got ahead of myself. Hold on, because I'm so excited I got ahead of myself. I have to give the final count here at the hotel to the people tomorrow morning. So if anybody decided that they would like to be spontaneous and drop in here to the event and hang out with us and drop into soul and get into a state of flow with other women and have some powerful breakthroughs and epic shifts and get all the results and meet some lifelong friends, then PM me, because I have to give that final count tomorrow morning, and there's still like 3 spots open. So that's Sarasota, Florida, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, but just PM me and I'll give you all the details. Yes, I've done that. I've gone on the fly last weekend like that because my soul said yes and I listened to it. Number 2 is we've opened the Diamond Mastermind. So it's officially open. I've never talked about it in public, ever. I don't really know why. I guess because it's like my own little group of friends. I'm not really sure why. I've never once told people about it publicly or opened it up for people. So we've done that for the very first time ever. So if you go to mandyperry.com, you will see information on that. And that is one that you PM me about. You talk to me personally about joining that group. Really, it's one that it's like doing life together. So it's really different than other stuff you might have heard of and stuff like that. This is like us doing life together, us being in it together, celebrating, like friendships are built in there. We travel around the world together. Like the event here is free to the Diamond Masterminds, the one in Sarasota. So of course, if you're interested in that, you get to come for free to that if you join us in the Diamond Mastermind. And it is about choosing and opting into a life of doing this together with other people who are like-minded and being called to more along the journey of doing that. Does this make sense? Like, it's a very different thing than like, okay, I'm gonna go learn this, then I'm gonna implement it. This is like actually opting into the life of doing it together and like staying at that high level. So we do one thing, and then we learn it, and then we'll implement what we can, and then we like, so some of it's implemented, if even that. If we're being really honest, most people don't even implement what they just learned. They learn something and then they don't implement it, and then they're frustrated with themselves, and then they lose confidence in themselves. This is not just about only what would be kind of an epic level is learning the thing. Seriously, how many people have learned way more than they know how to implement in their life? Drop me your favorite emoji as to how it feels when you don't follow through with all the crap that you've already learned. Did you know, I know I'm tangenting for a second, but this is really important, so I want you to know this. Did you know that if you learn too many things without implementing, then you will actually start to, like, your brain will start to fritz and freak out, and you'll actually have done more damage than if you didn't go and learn all that stuff. And I know you guys have probably experienced that when you hop on like webinars and all these free things and you're learning all this stuff, and then you haven't had a chance to like actually implement any of them, and then it all goes by the wayside in some freaking, yeah, turd emoji. Yes, that's a good one. It all goes into some journal somewhere or some notebook somewhere that was never opened again, but you're saving all of them for the day when you're magically going to open it and redo all of those things that you never implemented back then. Yeah, right. No. So this is very freaking different than that. This is about actually, if you feel called to do life together with other powerful women, if you feel called to be doing this with me in my closest inner circle and group, and we're in constant contact every day. You get one-on-ones with me, you get a private group with me, you get to fly around the world and come to events with me. We're doing life together. And that's what this is. It's very different. So it's about staying in the place. Like when you're learning and implementing and you kind of go to that high level, it's like a buzz. I don't know how else to explain it. You're like, you're buzzing, you're at that high pace. You're like, it's just expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. It's not like you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I just don't believe that. The pendulum swings forward. It stays moving forward. And that's what we do in this kind of lifestyle. So I have opened it. It is open. MandyPerry.com. I'm nervous about it. I'm like nervous and excited because I know that the people who join us in here, we build friendships and it's a lifelong journey together, and it's pretty freaking epic. And the girls in there are absolutely amazing, and I adore them and they inspire me, and I love them, and I love doing life with them, and I'm excited to meet more people who are gonna do life with us. So, so 2 things. Just wanted to let people know because I didn't do that good of a job. If you're wanting to come to Sarasota, it has to be tonight. You have to opt in and let me know tonight. If you've been interested in working one-on-one with me, working more closely with me, working more at a consistent basis with me, the Mastermind girls get access to everything I do complimentary. Everything and anything that I do, they have access to. It's always available for them. They have access to my team and the tech support. They have access to me, like daily access to me, weekly trainings I do in there, and one-on-ones. It's really just like, it's way more support than you'll ever actually going to utilize. Nobody utilizes all of it. Nobody. I love how you've built a community of women. Me too, Cecilia. It's like a dream life to be able to call this my job. It's really amazing. And the transformation that I get to watch the women go through. I mean, I've even had clients come in that have had no background whatsoever. They weren't even a coach, and now they're like absolutely crushing and blowing it up. And if you saw them, you would never guess, because that's the pace that we take when we're doing this together. It's a really different life to do it together as a tribe. And I remember when I first started doing this, and I started letting myself do it with other people and not isolating all the time. A lot of stuff came up for me. It was a lot. It was like working through all the patterns. But I mean, I would never be more grateful for anything in my whole life. I was such an isolator. To ask my husband, I used to tell him all the time, I just want to freaking go live in a cave somewhere and read books and be a monk and just like read books all day and just write books all day, and that's it. I don't need people. I don't need anything. That is literally what I used to say. Cecilia, what is the Sarasota thing? It's a 2-day event with me here in Sarasota. I'm at the hotel right now. It's Saturday and Sunday. I can give you all the details if you're interested, but basically it's us women coming together, and we're gonna drop into soul, and we're gonna really come from that place of like, it's called soul fed. The intention is to feed our soul. When your soul is fed, all the things that disappear, you stop overeating, you stop snapping at your kids, you stop isolating from your husband, you stop blaming everybody around you, you stop holding yourself back and playing small. You stop freaking out about the little things that happen. You stop predicting negative things and feeling afraid all the time. You stop doing all those things, and you just, you relax and you calm down and you enjoy life and you see things differently, and things are more clear and easy, and it's really a completely different kind of life. So the intention is, of course, we should be doing this a few times a year. And whether people want to come to this Sarasota retreat or ever work with me, please hear me. If you're doing this journey of expansion or entrepreneur, or just in any area of your life wanting to go to the next level, you got to get your ass in a room with other people who are doing this, and let people ahead of you support you and help to fill your soul and nourish you back up, and being together in community with people, because our culture is terrible at community. Terrible. We got to do this shit together. Really, like, this is the intention. That's why I made the mastermind, was to do life together with other people. One of the biggest things that I've heard from a complaint from everybody was, I just want to meet my like-minded friends. Then it can be really painful when you're growing and you're transforming and you're a learner and you're a go-getter and you're an A student and you're the smartest one in the room, and you know you can make stuff happen, but then you're surrounded by people who aren't really like that, and sometimes you feel bored and frustrated, and it's like torture sometimes. I'm just gonna say this, even though I feel like I'm not allowed to, I'm gonna say this. It's like torture sometimes listening or being present at whatever it is, and like you just feel like you're bored, and it's like torture, and you wanna be doing something different. And so to be around people where you can have that exchange, that high level exchange, that was actually a newer thing that I figured out. It was like specifically how to describe it for myself, was like an actual physical exchange between you and I. So when I'm hanging out with you, I'm getting value and you're getting value and the experience is enjoyable, versus I'm just here doing this thing, talking about this stupid crap I don't care about, and I'm bored and I'm annoyed, right? So it's like being in a room full of people where you get to have that exchange and that high level, and it's a way of having fun and playing where you also get epic, massive results because creativity is born. You get to like let those bad habits kind of subside, and you get refreshed and renewed and go back into life from that place, and that's really epic. And the reason I do that, the whole reason that the retreats even ever came about, was to support my mastermind girls. So like 3 times a year we meet up somewhere, usually Bali, Maui, and then somewhere in the States is like really how we do it. So those are all open. If you're feeling called to the retreat, if you feel like, yes, being in a room full of other women and being able to drop into soul and like be refreshed and renewed and meet some other friends that you can become lifelong friends with and do life together and get some epic coaching on anything that comes up, because that's what we're doing. We're hanging out. It's a small, intimate group. We're hanging out. Everything that you need, you will get. Everybody's going to get what they need in the room. And if you're feeling called to that, just PM me, but it's got to be tonight because I have to give them the numbers tomorrow. There will be no exceptions. The doors closed tonight for that. And if you're wanting to work with me a little bit closer, if you've wanted one-on-ones from me, or you want to be sort of in the inner crew, mandyperry.com, and check out the Diamond Mastermind. I did it. I was scared to tell everybody about the Diamond Mastermind. I was nervous. I was nervous. It's like my friends, they're like family to me. They feel just like family, and I love them. But I'm very much looking forward to meeting some new people to join us in the Diamond Mastermind, because I fucking love those girls, right? So if that feels of interest to you, just let me know. Just shoot me a PM, or at the bottom of the page, there's a button to PM me. You can PM me on here, whatever you want. Just let me know, and I'll personally speak to you about that. My team doesn't handle that. I do, because this is like my inner circle of people that I love. Cool. I can't do it. I needed that though. Oh, Cecilia, it would have been so great to hug you in person. Oh my God. And yes, we do millions of hugs because it's so healing. It feeds the soul, right? It's all about feeding the soul. Amanda McNair, don't talk to me. Talk to the hand. Can't believe you're not coming. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Oh, I had a whole day planned. I can't. I need to spend time with my mom. What a horrible excuse. Go put on your shit Pradas. Okay, I'm kidding. All right, so for real, I got super nervous about telling you guys about my mastermind. So I just went straight into it, which I normally don't do. So do you have any questions? Does anybody have any questions about anything? Because I'm happy to answer now. Oh, I love you too, girl. I seriously do. I cannot wait to hang with the girls this weekend. I'm super excited. All right, I see some messages coming through. No questions? Nothing? Yeah, I will see you in Maui. I just picked the dates for that today. I would tell you what they are, but I don't remember. But I just picked them today. I got to finalize the location before I can actually publicly announce it. But yeah, Maui will be in, I don't even remember the month, December, I think. I'll have to go check on that. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Amanda, I feel like you should get some kind of award for figuring out what that song was. That was pretty epic. All right, I know there's a delay, so Tammy, I want to go to Maui. Oh my God. I grew up with Tammy. We grew up in a hometown, smallest town in the whole world, with nothing whatsoever going on except for mischief. I got the hell out of Dodge at 17. She got the hell out of Dodge too. Hell yeah, that'd be amazing to see you in Maui. Yeah. All right, so let me just see if anything intuitively comes to me to say to you guys now that I've calmed down a little bit from telling you about my mastermind. I don't get nervous very often, but I did get nervous telling you guys about that. That's funny that I got nervous. Woo, could you tell that I was nervous? That's what I look like when I'm nervous, so now you know. All right, does anything intuitively come up to me? Oh, I know, I wanted to do this anyway. Hold, please. Yes, the girls in my female rising group came up with a whole bunch of crap that was freaking them out, and I'm going to address one of them. How about an award of Maui retreat? Girl, you know when I first started my business, I used to give away retreats, right? Like literally, I gave away retreats because I could. And because that felt so, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe Mallory came to the Maui retreat, and then we had another winner for one of our other retreats, and that's when that California fire was going on, and she got stuck in the fire and she couldn't make it. I felt so bad. That was so stinky, but of course it's exactly what's meant to be. And then we also had a winner for our Bali retreat, like literally full paid, full blown food and everything was included in those retreats, and it was completely paid for, and we gave them away. Yeah, I did. It felt good then, and now it feels like my audience is going to be best served by showing up and getting their ass in gear and making it happen. Amanda, I prayed for one. Yeah. Well, you are learning a pretty high level way of calling shit in now. So, all right, let's check out one of these squirrely notes from people and find out which one I can address today. Unless one of you guys have one. Is there a belief or something you're really struggling with that you don't know how to get past? Something you feel stuck on in your business or in your life? Whew. I even started sweating. I was so nervous telling you guys about my mastermind. That's really funny. I feel like I had a new boyfriend. I was taking him home to mommy and daddy. That was the feeling I had inside. That's really funny. All right, where are these things? Oh, here they are. Okay. Ooh, there's such good ones. Which one should I pick? I'd rather pretend I'm happy than have money. This was one of them. So for people, that it was basically like a noble, like the belief is I'm noble because I'm thrifty, I'm noble because I know how to get by on a little amount of money, or got a phone call. I think actually how one person described it was I leave a lighter footprint on the earth if I'm thrifty and I don't spend a lot of money on stuff. So really one of the things that I hear often, because I'm in the middle of teaching Rags to Riches, it's closed right now, I'm sorry, but this is just a little bit of an insight, right? So like one of the things that comes up for a lot of people is like they feel like there's something innately good about them if they don't care about money. And it's really been drilled to them since they were a child. Like, I'm not allowed to want money, I'm not allowed to have money, I'm bad if I focus on money. And so like, guess what happens, right? So what are the areas in your life that you do absolute best, right? Vintage and thrift stores, more eco-friendly, yeah. I remembered the exact words, light footprint on the earth, because I was like, wow, that's a strong pattern, right? So what are the things that you do absolutely best in your whole life? All the things that you do best in your life are the things that you give attention to and you focus on, and they're right on your radar. If you're a mom, you're always thinking about, where are my kids at? What do they have coming up next? What do they need going on? How did that boy treat him in class today? Was he still rude? How are they handling the new school? Oh my God, they have the license thing coming up. It's just always on your mind, 24/7. You wake up and you're like, where am I, who am I, and where are my kids? It's like the first thing you think. I don't know if you guys wake up that way. I do. Not gonna lie. I think my dreams are deep. I do kind of wake up that way. What planet am I on? What day is this? Who's here? Where are my children? What's going on with my kids? Is everybody safe? I kind of wake up like that. It's on your radar. It's on your mind. You're giving it attention, so that area of your life thrives. So imagine what's going to happen with finances if you have a deep-seated pattern or belief that if I let money matter, I'm going to be something innately bad. You're not going to give your attention to it, and that area of your life is going to look like shit. Super strong pattern, selling all that shit because it's actually worth something. Yes. For not a thrift price. Or give it back to the thrift shops where it belongs. Yeah, give it back. Right? So it only makes sense that, like, okay, without judgment, if we just looked at it without any judgment at all, it's like, okay, interesting. I notice here that I have this belief that having money will make me something different than what I am, and it'll make me bad, and I'll hurt other people, or I'll take away from other people, or I'm tricking other people, or I'm being selfish, or this is all the stuff I just heard, right? It's like all the things that I just heard. So if we are believing that way, it's okay for us to just look at it. It's not that scary. It's not so bad. We just look at it and be like, okay, interesting. I could see how that would make things a little bit squirrely for me moving forward and making money. If I truly believe that moving forward and making money is going to hurt people I love, then I'm not going to move forward and make money. Now, I really wish that I could teach you everything I'm teaching the girls in the Rags and Riches around money. I can't get into all of it. But this is what I can leave you with. If you're noticing that that's a pattern, the first thing that we get to do is just like get curious, like, interesting. Okay, I notice that's there. It doesn't have to be significant. It doesn't have to continue to, rule my world. I don't have to keep buying into the belief or the pattern that that I'm bad, or like how money defines someone. Like, I literally remember when I had a conversation with a friend, mentor of mine, and I had to ask a blunt question of like, how come you are so flashy and showy about this stuff? Like, isn't it kind of like shoving it in people's face? And I was like, please don't get mad at me. I just have to ask because it doesn't make sense up here. It's not computing. I'm not computing. I see you as a great person, but you do these things that feel so slimy. I don't get it, right? And it was like, to my chagrin, I was so horrified once I finally saw it. I was like, wow, I literally am taking like a stinking purse or an item or how much something cost and making that mean something about the human being, like as if that human being is defined by it, right? And this came up a lot over the last journey that I went through. And so it's okay. It's like no big deal. Like, oh, that was yucky, right? And I was like, okay, I was judging. I was just totally judging people for no other reason other than I was uncomfortable with the subject myself. So I made somebody else bad, right? Which is kind of bullshit. You're making other people bad because you don't have the balls to do what you want in your own life. We don't really want to do that. So I was like, okay, that's ugly, that's gross, I'm gonna let that one go. And it was like, of course, I didn't know any better, so I knew the best I could, and I made the judgment as best I could. So if all you got from this was just being curious, like, interesting, I wonder why I believe that. Why am I choosing to believe that right now still? Like, I know that was probably set when I was younger. You don't even need to know when. It doesn't freaking matter. You don't gotta do all that bullshit, right? But like, interesting, I noticed that this is a pattern I have. Why am I still choosing it today? What do I get out of it? What am I getting out of choosing that today? Because you're getting something out of it, I promise you. By believing that other people who have money are bad and you're good because you're thrifty, you're getting a reward out of that. And phase number 1 reward would be you get to not be in the tension of doing the shit that's required for you to get the result that you're actually longing for. Number 2, it's okay to admit to yourself that you're full of shit. You're just full of shit. You want money. You want the lifestyle. You want to be able to travel. You want to be able to support and take care of your mom and dad. Give your kids this really epic opportunities in their life for them to live their purpose fully fulfilled. You want the power to be able to serve in a moment when somebody needs support. You want to be able to do things like give away retreats that are life-changing to people that'll never have the opportunity again. You want the opportunity to serve, to give back, to donate. You do. So stop being full of shit. So number 2 is like admitting to yourself that you're full of shit, because I got to. I was like, wow, okay, I'm full of shit. I've really been telling myself this whole time, that's not who I am. I'm better like this. I pride myself in being this, and I was just full of shit, right? So that's phase number 2. And then phase number 3, 4, 5, you get to figure out what's the reward. You don't have to go in the tension, and you get to be full of shit so that you don't go in the tension, right? You don't have to stand in the tension. It relieves, it's like an instant relief of the pressure because you weren't being present with yourself on what's next for you. Whether you're afraid to quit your job or you're afraid to have that conversation with someone who's siphoning you or whatever it is. It's not that scary. You can just look at it. It doesn't mean you have to do anything. You just get to look at it. Just notice. Like, okay, I notice. Interesting. I can notice that and not freak out about it. It's cool. I can get curious and I can just learn myself a little bit more and then start asking myself, what do I want to believe? Right? This is all the stuff we're diving into big time in the group. But hopefully that supports and serves you, because I want you to just hear from my mouth to your heart. It's all loads of bullshit. Money is just a resource like other things, right? It's just a resource. That's it. It's nothing stronger, more or less than that. It's just a thing that's really great at pulling up a whole bunch of patterns and shitty beliefs, which is really cool. So if you're willing to dive into it, you'll get to get that stuff flushed up and you'll get to work through it, which is really awesome. I don't feel that money or having money is bad. I just don't believe I deserve what I want. I know it's crap. Yeah, that's another big one. I don't feel worthy of it, right? Same stuff applies. What do you get out of believing that you're not worthy of it? You're getting something from that, right? Because we'll look at it like, oh, I just feel that way and I know it's crap and I don't like, and it's almost like we give ourselves an excuse, like, but I went through trauma and life has been tough, and so of course I believe that. And like, that's okay. We want to have empathy with ourselves, but at the same time, we also want to call a spade, which is like, I'm telling myself a bullshit story that I'm not worthy so that I don't have to what? So that I don't have to blah, 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 blah. Right? So mine was like, so I don't have to be consistent. I didn't have to be consistent. I could be messy as fuck, not show up to doctor's appointments, not keep my commitments to other people, not have to have a schedule to like commitments. Like, I remember the first time I got a client, I was like, you want me to know what I'm doing in 9 Fridays and know that on Monday at 1 o'clock, Friday, 9 weeks from now, I'm gonna show up on a call with you It's like I couldn't even comprehend, like, what if I'm on the rag? What if I'm fighting with my husband? What if I'm depressed? What if I have a hangover? What if 100 other things? Like, I just was so horrified at that idea, which is so funny now because that's silly to me now. Obviously, running this business, that's quite silly to me, but that's how it felt in the beginning, right? So we just get to own what it is. So back then, I made up that making money was hard. I made up that I wasn't worthy of money. I made up all these things, and it gave myself permission to not show up and do the work that got me the result that I really wanted, right? So you're winning the game that you're playing. I heard that from, I forget his name now. Lucas. His name was Lucas. From HCI, you're winning the game that you're playing. Boy, did I learn out later that was true. Consistency is an issue for me too. I get to tell myself the story that I don't deserve what I want, and that way I get to be like, oh, poor me, and then I don't have to be consistent. So what if you get to do both? What if you can be like, oh, poor me, because that's okay. Like, it is poor you. You've been through some shit, and it's okay. And it's okay for you to acknowledge, girl, I've been through some shit. I get it, me too. And do I really want what I say I want? Because if I do, then I get to change the story. Or I get to keep spinning this bullshit and keep not showing up consistent and then blaming something else or someone else or some past circumstance or somebody who's dead. That's perfect because then they can't even argue back, right? Like, we just get to spin the story and then we don't show up, all right? Mine was definitely consistency. But there's so many different ones for people. Yay, love heart shower. Thanks, Amy. Okay, I think that is all. This was an interesting live. I freaked out and told you guys about all the offers because I was nervous. And then we randomly started talking about money stories. Interesting. I'm not worthy of money, so I get to be lazy, not show up and remain unseen. Yeah, I get to not, it's really like we don't get to remain lazy, even though that is true. But it's like, if we were being more specific, it would be like, I get to not feel the tension I feel when I'm showing up. Because we want to be lazy because there's no tension there. There is actually tons of tension there, but it's not active tension, right? It's like that passive tension, that the kind that kills you. But the active tension feels a little harder when you're unaccustomed to showing up, and so we don't have to feel that tension. So I get to spin the story that I'm unworthy. And deep inside, every single one of us knows that is such loads of bullshit. Every one of us was born this innocent child, worthy of all abundance and all expansion and all epic things and all of our soul's longings and a purpose to bring to this world and heal and leave our legacy and look back when we're freaking 90 and be like, damn, that was a good life. Damn. I left my whole soul all over this planet and I'm going home empty. And I'm going to get refilled and come back again, whatever your belief is, right? That's how we want to do it. And not like, oh, I spent so much time believing I was unworthy. Fuck that shit. Life is too short. No, ain't nobody got time for that. You are so worthy and you know it, and there's a part of you that knows you're worthy. And so what if we just got really curious, like, okay, interesting. If I did let go of the pattern that I was unworthy, what would I do? What's one thing I can do to start stepping into that? What do I need support figuring out or learning or doing or letting go? Do I need someone to call my ass out on believing the bullshit story that I'm unworthy, right? And remember, what I learned from Tony Robbins changed my whole life. You have not made a decision unless you've taken action, like actual action, right now, instant action. Then that shows you've decided. Deciding is not an emotion or a feeling like, oh yeah, I've decided. That's not a decision, that's not an emotion, that's words. A decision means you've taken action. That shows proof of decision, right? There is no proof of decision in thoughts, and I can prove it. How many times have you told yourself, yes, I'm doing this, and then you didn't do it, right? It wasn't a decision. It was an emotion. It was an emotional wave, we'll call it. If I did let go of the fact that I'm unworthy, need to write that down. Yes. Interesting. Okay, I've been using this story. I've been pretending that I'm sick, pretending I'm unworthy, whatever it is. Letting myself get sick, that was an interesting one. Every time I up-leveled, I'd freaking get sick. It was so bizarre. And I was like, yeah, that's just what happens. You go through an up-level and you get sick. That's just a normal part of it. It's so hard that you get sick. I was like, fuck that story. I'm done with that story. Okay, I'm no longer available for that. I'm gonna continue to up-level like 7 million times in my life, so I'm unavailable for the fact that I'm gonna get sick every time I do it. How about I get even more healthy every time I up-level? And I started calling that in, and naturally it shifted, right? But I got to spin the story that I get sick when I up-level because then I got to be messy again, right? I didn't have to be consistent again, so I'd get sick. Yep, you think that your emotions can't trigger you to be sick? Yeah. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. And you've probably actually experienced it, and maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't, but yeah, your emotions get you sick, right? So you can call that in. You can call yourself to get sick and then check out of life and stop being consistent and go drink your wine and watch Dr. Phil if you're anything like me. Yes, if I let go of the fact that I'm unworthy, if I let go of the, no, wait a minute, Amy, that's all jacked up. If I let go of the story that I'm unworthy, there is no fact in that sentence. If I let go of the story that I'm unworthy, what would I do? What would I feel? What am I pretending is going to happen? What if I catastrophize will happen if I stop choosing the story as my excuse to procrastinate? What would I do instead? What would the girl who believes in her worth, what would she be doing today? What would she do right now? Yes, story. Yeah, words matter, right? See, the pattern in there is like the fact. This is a fact. Nope, not a fact. Be gone. All gone, story. Yes, I was being sick every Saturday, so I didn't have to do work. I remember when I finally figured that out, I was so like, this is a thing? You can make yourself sick? It was actually like mortifying. I was really unimpressed with my behavior. I avoid speaking up for myself, and I assume there will be conflict when I do. So that is my excuse for avoiding conflict. This is what I asked myself, Cecilia, when I was building my business. Obviously, there's things that come up that are uncomfortable, lots of uncomfortable conversations with clients, with people. When you're working with hundreds and hundreds of people, this stuff comes up, shit comes up, right? What I learned to do is ask myself, okay, you can avoid this if you want to, or you can not deal with this if you want to. You can ignore it or let it go or have someone else deal with it. That's okay. If you really want that, you can. And I gave myself permission for that. And then I said, or do you want to be someone who's seasoned at doing this? Which one resonated with my soul and like the vision I had of myself, like who I am, my future me, the best me? Was I a woman who was seasoned at this thing that I didn't want to deal with, or was I someone who had a life where I didn't have to deal with those things? And sure enough, it was like, no, I wanted to be seasoned at them. It felt badass and strong and powerful for me to be seasoned at these complicated situations, or what feels complicated when you're unpracticed at it, right? And then I started recognizing, no, I'm grateful for this opportunity to do this because I want to be someone who's knows how to have confrontational conversations and have them go well. And maybe I needed a book or a resource or some support with it, but I owned that it's what I really wanted. I didn't have to. And you don't have to. You could go the rest of your life avoiding confrontation unless you want to be a woman who knows how to have powerful, seasoned conversations with people, that some conflict might come up and you know how to resolve it in a really powerful, easy way, and you feel comfortable doing that. Then you're going to want to call your ass to it because it's what you actually want, right? I'm no longer available to tell myself the story that I'm unworthy of money in my dreams. Fuck yeah, sister! Rachel, you are a powerhouse. Oh my God, and I miss your face. I miss you. Hell yeah, you're no longer unworthy. That story is gone. I'm unworthy. What is that even? Do you see? Do you see the bullshit there? What is that even? I'm unworthy? Me as a human being who has a soul, who was born just like every other human being on the planet. What makes us so different? We're the same. We're all the same. We're human beings with a soul and experiences and feelings and emotions, and it's all the same. We're all the same. How could one person be unworthy and one person be worthy? It's not even a thing. It's all just made up bullshit. Complete bullshit. I do want that. Love that empowerment. Hell yes. Oh my God, I love you guys. Yes, do you see? This is so different, and how quickly, this is literally why I ended up starting the Diamond Mastermind, because this is what I watched. I would do these shorter groups, or I would do one-on-ones, and people have these powerful breakthroughs, and then over time, it they never went back all the way back, because you can't. Once you learn something, once you up level, you're at the new level. But shit would creep in at the new level, and I was like, oh, it's just the same shit at a new level, and I was like, oh, this is a consistent thing. That was also the time when I decided I will never go without a mentor. I pay a lot of money every single month for my mentors. A lot of money. I reinvest a massive amount of my business to stay with mentors. Even though I had a horrible experience in the beginning and I feel like I got really screwed or burned or was with someone kind of yucky, and then I continued to stay in it through my chagrin that somebody was going to take me down with them or take advantage of me, because of course that was my pattern, right? And so I stayed in it because I recognized that like you'll keep hitting new levels, but this pattern will come at every level. You just learn to recognize it better and better, and you get swifter at it, and you kind of ninja its ass. And you just learn to ninja its ass and see it for what it is. And like, so now like me unworthy, like no part of me feels unworthy at all. And I would say that I felt like the most unworthy human being that I have ever known. Right? Like I felt like I was the white trash girl that anybody could do anything to and nobody would ever care and nobody would ever notice. That's what I felt like. So the fact that I've come this far in just 2.5 years is pretty friggin' epic. So yes, absolutely you can shift into the shit and let go of that story 100%. 100%. Total bullshit. It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. I know. That's why it's so important to do this shit, to talk about it. Nobody talks about this. We go hang out and meet up and everybody's this. What I was talking about earlier, it's like torture. You're sitting there and you're talking about like, I don't even know what. Because I don't listen. Am I allowed to say that? I like hanging out with people who have something real to say, who tell me how they really feel, or what's really going on, or the shit they're really excited about, what they really want in life. And there's an exchange, a vulnerable, an actual exchange between human beings. Like, that's what I like. That's what I like to be around. So when people are talking about some dumb shit that I don't care about, I don't listen, I guess. They don't anymore. They don't. I guess people around me have gotten used to me talking about the real stuff. Like if I know something's going on, then I talk about it. And I remember when I first started doing that, I always felt antisocial. I felt like I was just antisocial. There was something weird and wrong about me. Like I didn't know how to play nice and do like the social thing. And then I remember the day I figured out, because I don't fucking want to, because I don't care, because I just don't care. I happen to be someone who's aware of how much people are suffering. Everybody that seems happy has a level of suffering because our culture is a culture of aloneness. And how are you doing? I'm fine, thanks. Bullshit. I hate it. I really do. I'm not even gonna lie. I hate it. I feel like, and my husband and I were just talking about this, and like Europe and other stuff, there's not overeating and binge drinking and alcoholism and drug addicts and stuff like that. Nothing like there is in this culture. And you know what? Men tell you something, they tell you how they feel. If something happens, they talk about it. They take the time to talk about it. They're not flying by to the next thing and like then just having all this resentment and then eating all their feelings or drinking all their feelings or shooting up all their feelings, right? Like they're allowed to cry, and they cry in public, and they share their emotions, and they talk about how they really feel. It's completely different. And he wants to move there, and I swear to God, I don't really like Italy like that. I mean, I don't know. I like Bali. It's very different. I like Maui and Bali. It's very different. But for that reason, I would consider moving to Europe. He actually can get I don't think he can. Yeah, he's like legally, his mom's side of the family and stuff, it has all Italian blood and stuff, so he can legally become a citizen there and have dual citizenship or something. He really wants to move there. And I was like, nope, not doing it. But when I started looking at the cultural difference that way, when he was talking about that emotional difference, the connection, the vulnerability, the intimacy, I was like, yeah, I could get on board with that for real. And part of that is why our patterns have so much time to play and stay rampant, because nobody talks about it. Everybody talks about dumb shit that nobody cares about and hides all their baggage and their yuckiness because they think it makes them bad or unworthy. But it's not. It doesn't make you unworthy. It makes you human. That's it. It only makes you human. You're just human. Welcome to the human race. #human. That's why I use it all the time. We are the same. We are all the same. We all have our shit. We're all fucked up. It all looks messy behind the scenes, and we all put on a pretty face and try to look our best and work through all our shit and tell ourselves stories so we can procrastinate. And then some of us, very few of us, will call ourselves out on that shit. Get around people that will support us going through that, and get around other people that are all going in the same direction. Because if you have 5 broke friends, sister, you're going to be the 6th. That's for sure, right? You are going to be the 6th. That's the way it is. So I remember the first time I went through HCI to get my health coach certification, and they told us to hang out with wealthy people, get one new wealthy friend or like successful friend or something like that. I only heard wealthy because I was the poor girl, super poor girl, right? And I was like, oh, hell no. And I didn't. I was like unavailable for that shit. That was way too much for me, right? And now when I look at it, it's like, oh, yeah, we get to actually hang out with other people that can have a value exchange. They're willing to be intimate. They're willing to be vulnerable. They're willing to participate in an honest human exchange. And when we do that, lo and behold, our pattern can't hide in the dark so much. right? It can't hide and lurk in the dark where nobody talks about it. It can't, because you're around people who that's the topic of conversation, because we are honest and we talk about real shit that's really going on without hiding behind some kind of mask that we have to be or do better. Because you don't have to fucking be or do better. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, right on track to where the fuck you're going. And ain't nothing gonna change that. It was always gonna look like this. Always, right? A human fucking person, LOL. We so all have stuff. Colostomy bags full of shit we carry around. That was really good. Many as well, beware of it. Hell yes. And the truth is, the shit gets cleaned up better and better, but it's like the painful shit gets cleaned up. There's still shit. There's still colostomy bags everywhere. It's just not painful shit anymore, right? Like you start to heal and work that stuff out and your patterns calm down and the bad behavior that you beat yourself up for, it starts to calm down, right? Of course it does, because you're feeding your soul and you're talking truth and intimacy with other people. You're not doing it alone. You're not isolating. You're not never going outside and getting sunshine or not taking showers for 4 days or whatever the fuck you're doing. People put their mess out there and don't care because they know we all have a mess. Yes! Yes! I seriously love how you say the best and so truthful things. Because I have cultivated a community, because people have taught me to truly be myself. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of came out of the, I almost said the V word. I'm glad I didn't. I definitely came out of the womb with the don't give a fuck gene. And I think it was because a lot of the traumas I went through as a kid, it was like kind of public and everyone knew, and like either I was going to stop giving a shit what they thought, or I was going to really turn inwards, and I just was a fighter, right? So it's all of it, and then all the rest of it is a learned behavior. I've learned to cultivate a tribe where I feel safe just being myself. You know what my mentor told me the other day? All this shit talk, Kyle. Yes, that was a strange time to come in. I'll give you that. You know what my mentor said to me the other day? And it was not the other day, it was like 2 months ago or something. She taught me something that really changed a lot of things for me. She told me to behave like here on this live, how I would act when I'm with, and actually she told me her mentor told her this or something like that. I would act with you guys how I would genuinely act if I'm hanging out with my brothers and sisters, or if I'm hanging out with the girls and having a glass of wine. How do I act? What am I really like? What are the things I really say? What am I saying when I'm just talking to people I trust and I say inappropriate words? And I was joking about this with a client of mine the other day, like, yeah, there's definitely some words I can't use, that's for sure. I'm not available for using those words publicly. But that's it. Everything else is like what you see, what you get. And I thought, it was like, it just blew my mind. Like, yeah, how amazing would it be for the people in your life, even your tribe and your community and the people that you're building for your business, to get to see all of the real you, what you're really like? How inviting would that be if they got, and I was like, durr. And I realized like I was pretty close to that when I first learned that, but there were so many more levels to go to. Like, wow, okay, that's really the real me. Like, you really want to see the real me? You really want to know all the real shit? And it was right around the same time that I had started that campaign for like hashtag behind the curtain, that I spelled curtain wrong, which is really funny. So half the hashtags you can't even find because they're spelled wrong. There's like an extra O or U in it, however the hell you spell it. And so it really was like, okay, Mandy, if you're really going to do this, if you're really going to preach to everybody that they're worthy as who they are and they get to make money, be seen, bring their gifts to the world, being their true selves, it's time to show up, sister, right? It's time to show up. Are you really letting them see all of it, the real you? And why would you be holding back, or why wouldn't you be holding back? And there was definitely the story in my head of like, I have a lot of pretty heavy religious people in my tribe, and like I don't want to talk past them. I don't want to like say shit and then they can't hear my real message, or I don't want to like goof off too much and then the serious people who are like, I have to know how to do this structure so perfectly, right? They can't hear me because I'm goofing off and being silly, because I'm definitely hyper and silly. So it was definitely like, oh, like there's a pattern. Like if I'm truly myself, if I really be myself, then I'm gonna scare all these people off and I'm not gonna have a business. And like I'm gonna scare off the Christians, whom I feel a very heart connection to support and love through any kind of like stuck on stuff that isn't truly in their belief system, or like how to express themselves and have the bravery to speak their real truth and to be seasoned into who they believe they are, et cetera, et cetera. and work through tons of fears, right? And then also, you know, help and support women who are really stuck in the like masculine push of doing, and support them in learning how to be more feminine, have fun, and like enjoy the creative process, and bring creativity to the table and soul to the table when they're doing their tasks. Because if you are not bringing that to the table, you are working way too hard, way harder than you need to be, right? So like I was scared that I wasn't gonna be able to reach that audience, and it was like, wait a minute. What is your job, Mandy? What are you committed to? Are you committed to like being a, you know, like one size fits all? Or are you committed to being truly yourself and letting your deepest message come out to the world, and letting who you are be a really bright shining light, so the people meant to find you can find you, and you can serve and love your people, your tribe, right? Like the people I'm meant to serve. And it was like, yeah, definitely the second. And it was scary. It was a lot harder than, no, it wasn't a lot harder than anything. It was an awareness that I had, and then I got to step up to that. So if that resonates with you at all, it's like, we want intimacy, we want connection, right? Am I right? You guys want intimacy and connection more, right? Like isolation sucks bad. Hey, Todd. So by knowing, and here's another thing, right? Like what I desperately was looking for in the world, instead of being like, oh, see, there's nobody to connect with or have intimacy with and have friends with, and there's no friends my own, like on the same level as me, or like going where I'm going, and I can't find people who are like-minded. Instead of doing that, it was like, okay, but if there was a desperate need for that in the world, then why don't I create it? Why don't I create a place where people can come together and do this real life shit together, instead of pretending and fake talking and boring talking and all that other shit that I feel like I'm not allowed to say, but I'm saying anyway. Like, what if you could just create that? So whatever need you find in the world, how many times have you heard that saying? You see a need in the world, fill it. You be the person to fill it. You get to create and generate the emotional experience that you find missing in the world. And you get to do that in your business, and you get to be paid handsomely for it. Yes, you really do. It's really a thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. This has been one of the most interesting lives I've ever done. Very interesting. Oh, I should drop the link in here. Love heart showers. I don't know where that name comes from, but that's what it's called, a love heart shower, when people hit all the loves. Yeah, baby, Amy. Hell yes. Whew, that was a lot of stuff that came up. Anything else? That was a lot. I don't know who this was for. This was definitely for somebody. You do something and you have like one intention and it turns out completely different, and then there's like this sensing you have, like that was for somebody. This was for somebody. I don't know who it was for, but I hope it helped. I hope it served you. I truly do. Okay, I think that's all. I don't see any more comments. I love you guys. You are worthy. You will always be taken care of. You're right on track. Don't fucking look at the next lane. Don't be worried about what nobody else is doing. You get to drop into your soul and live your purpose and your calling in this world, and you get to take brave action to back yourself up. That is definitely another thing I've learned from my current mentor, is to back yourself. That is another thing that I've learned, and I do really well now. I back myself up. Oh, you rock too, sister. I'm still sad that you're not coming this weekend. Boo. I can't wait to see who messaged us to see if people are coming though, or joining us in the Diamond Mastermind. I'm super excited. And yes, men are welcome. Just need to throw that out there. Of course, men are welcome. I'd be overjoyed for men to do this work. There's so few men like my husband doing this work. It was for me, Food Stamp Brigade. That's awesome. You're so welcome. Okay, guys, I love you so much. Have a great night. You're welcome, Amanda. Love you. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.